What's going on, guys? GZV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about the 2011 movie and part of the Fast and Furious franchise. We have the fifth installment, Fast 5. Some people said it's like the best in the series, so I figured I'd watch it. Obviously Fast and Furious growing up was a pretty big franchise in movies. I watched almost all of them, I think. Definitely not the new ones. The new ones are definitely very saturated, very generic, very cliche. But Fast 5 is apparently the best in the series. I mean, I watched it. I mean, it's pretty good. It's definitely, I feel like it's just like every other Fast and Furious movie, but I still had some decent enjoyability watching it. The action sequences were kind of generic, but they were alright. But plot, critical reception, let's go. I gotta leave for class here in like 34 minutes. As Dominic Toretto is being transported to Lompoc prison by bus, his sister Mia Toretto and friend Brian O'Connor lead an assault on the bus and free Dom. So they're able to crash the bus, and Dom's able to get out of the bus and get away. I forgot how buff Vin Diesel was for these movies. I think he's still buff, but my god, he was a beast in this movie. While the authorities search for them, the trio escapes through Rio de Janeiro, which Lompoc is in California, so they decide to go all the way down to Rio to escape the feds for a while. Awaiting Dom's arrival, Mia and Brian join their friend Vince and other participants on a job to steal 3 cars from a train. So obviously a big part of the Fast and Furious series is cars. And yeah, they plan to steal a car, right? From a train. Brian and Mia learn that agents from the DEA are also on the train and that the cars are seized property. So it's pretty much a trap. It's pretty much a setup. The DEA agents are on the train, and they When Dom arrives with his accomplices, he realizes that their leader, ZZ, is only interested in stealing the Ford GT40. He only wants one of the cars. He doesn't want any of the other cars. Dom has Mia steal the car herself before he and Brian fight ZZ and his henchmen, during which ZZ kills the DEA agent, so now it's just all these other convicts around. So ZZ doesn't get the car he wants. He gets pretty mad about it, right? Brian and Dom are captured and brought to crime lord Hernan Reyes, the owner of the cars and ZZ's boss. So he's like the big antagonist. He's like the enemy, the bad guy, the villain of this movie. Reyes orders the pair interrogated to discover the car's location, but they escape to their safe house. They're able to beat up all the henchmen and get out of there and go to and retreat to this place. They have the GT40 there and stuff, so yeah. He steals Hernan Reyes' stuff. That's pretty much what they did, and they were doing it the entire movie. Dom, Brian, and Mia are framed as the murderers of the DEA agents, and the U.S. government sends a team of diplomatic security service agents led by DSS agent Luke Hobbs, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and obviously Brian is played by Paul Walker, Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel, yeah. And he's assisted by local officer Elena Naves to Rio to arrest them. So Luke Hobbs has a crush on this officer. It's just a random underqualified patrol officer, but because he likes her so much, he puts her on the squad. While Brian, Dom, and Mia examine the car to discover its importance, Vince arrives and is caught removing a computer chip from it. So he's looking mad federal. He removes a computer chip from it, and they're all looking at him what the hell are you doing? He admits he was planning to sell the chip to Reyes on his own, and Dom forces him to leave. Get the hell out of here. You're not going to be a part of our group right now. What are you doing? You know what I mean? He's selling the chip to Reyes for personal gain. Brian investigates the chip and discovers it contains financial details of Reyes' criminal empire, including the locations of $100 million US in cash. So he does a bunch of these like shipments and stuff, and he has like all of the information of every single transaction, every operation that he's done. Hobbs and his team arrive at Dom's safe house but find it under assault by Reyes' men searching for the chip. So they're all kind of chasing for this chip. It's kind of weird. They're all going after this one little chip, and there's three teams involved. You know, the DEA and the DSS. You know, you have Reyes' henchmen, and you have Dom. Vince is in the group. I mean, Dom, Vince, Brian, and Mia. Brian, Dom, and Mia escape after a chase across the favelas, which I think is like rooftops. I want to say that's what that's called. I don't know. Favelas. It's just like middle class neighborhoods in Brazil. Yeah. Dom suggests they split up and leave Rio, but Mia announces she is pregnant with Brian's child. So obviously these two are like lovers. We kind of figured that out from the beginning. And obviously, if you watch the series too, they're lovers, but I'm not really interested in any of the other movies. I kind of wanted to just visit this one. Yeah. So they shouldn't split. They should stay together and like protect the child and whatnot. Dom agrees to stick together, suggesting they steal Reyes' money to start a new life. They organize a team to perform the heist. Han, Roman, Tej, Giselle, Leo, and Santos. So they get like 9 people together. That's usually how big their group is. That's like an iconic part of the Fast and Furious movies. To centralize the cash, Dom's team attacks one of the locations and burns the money in front of Reyes' staff. Literally just right in front of their face. They're not there to steal it. They just take the money and they burn it. Which is pretty savage in my opinion. Afraid of further attacks, Reyes consolidates the remaining money and evidence vault inside a police station. So he retreats with the rest of his money. He throws in the police station, and now they gotta figure out how to get this money. Dom's team does surveillance, buys equipment, and acquires Reyes' handprint. So they do everything they can and everything they need to do to get in his vault. After their fastest cars prove to be too slow for security cameras, they steal 4 2010 Dodge Charger police cars to blend in. So, I mean, they were either going to get a super fast car or they were going to get, like, a normal car and just blend in with society. It was kind of cool. They were, like, practicing a static camera. They were, like, swerving corners and stuff. I think that was pretty awesome. There's some pretty dope car scenes. I mean, obviously not as much as you would expect out of a Fast and Furious movie, but maybe that's why people liked this movie that much. Focusing more on the classic action sequences than their own stuff, you know? Vince rejoins Dom's team after saving Mia from Reyes. Man, he gets reaccepted in the group pretty much. Hobbs' team eventually finds and arrests Dom, Mia, Brian, and Vince. So they're all thrown to the back of this like big ass like police truck or whatever, like a DSS car, I think. While transporting them from extradition to the United States in a Gurkha APV, the convoy is attacked by Reyes' men. So Reyes' men just constantly are just ambushing the DSS. Dom, Brian, Mia, and Vince help Hobbs and Elena escape the ambush, but the rest of Hobbs' men and Vince are killed. Yeah, Vince ends up dying, and they're able to escape. They're able to get out, and at this point, Hobbs and them are like teaming up. It's really awesome. Wanting to avenge their murdered team, Hobbs and Elena agree to help with the heist. Like, alright, we'll take the money. We gotta seize it anyways. It's illegal money. The gang breaks into the police station with the LAPD and uses 2 of the Chargers to tear the vault, holding Reyes' money from the building, dragging it through the city. Han and Roman arrive to disrupt police vehicles on their trail. Yeah, so it's like a really dope like police chase. I feel like I remember this movie a little bit. I feel like I remembered the action sequences with the crate and stuff. Did I watch this movie on this channel? I can't remember. I might have. I don't know. I don't think I have, though. Advancing on the bridge after an extensive chase, Dom and Brian continue without him while he turns around, smashing the police and Reyes' vehicles with the vault. It's really dope. He's like swerving the vault into them. It's like smashing their cars. It's kind of badass. Reyes is badly injured by Dom's assault, and Brian returns and kills Zizi. So now it's just Reyes and the rest of the heroes. His men are all pretty much dead because the vault like smashed into all their cars. Hobbs arrives and executes Reyes and Retribution for his teams. Yeah, he dies as well. Though Hobbs refuses to let Dom and Brian go free, he gives them a 24-hour head start to escape on the condition they leave the vault as it is, and this is also a chance to like console their families. When Dom and Brian depart, however, Hobbs finds the vault empty as Dom's crew switched it via a trash truck before they reach the bridge. Very badass, very dope. It was kind of like a plot twist. I think that was pretty cool. After splitting the cash and giving Vince's family his cut, Dom's team go their separate ways, and then we kind of revisit what's happening with them. On a tropical beach, Brian challenges Dom to a final no-stakes race to prove who is the better driver. In Washington, D.C., Hobbs is given a file by Monica Fuentes concerning the hijack of a military convoy in Berlin, where he discovers a recent photo of Dom's former girlfriend, Letty, who had been presumed dead. So that's kind of like a plot twist thing. It kind of like leads into the, Where's the critical... Okay. There's a decent amount of critical reception for this movie. This is a pretty... going to be a pretty lengthy video. Just be ready for that. Dwayne Johnson, he did great in this movie. That's like a big highlight. 78%, 6.4 out of 10, 206 reviews on Rotten Tomato. Sleek, loud, and over the top, Fast Five proudly embraces its brainless action thrills and injects new life into the franchise. 6.6 out of 10, 41 critics, generally favorable. On Metacritic, it got an A on Cinema Score. Why do I have to hiccup all the time? 3 out of 4 by the boy Roger Ebert. It's great. It's a skillfully assembled 130 minutes at the movies with actors capable of doing absurd things with straight faces and action sequences that toy idly with the laws of physics. Obviously, this movie isn't super realistic. It's not the point of the movie. You know what I mean? It's maybe the first great film of the post-human era. Definitely combined action and humor. The only time you won't be watching the screen is when your eyes have squeezed shut because you're laughing so hard. Yeah. I like the presence of Johnson and Diesel together. It's a cosmic event. Director Lennon revitalized the series. The start and finish here defying every imaginable law of physics are series highs for sure. I loved Dwayne Johnson in this movie. How to reignite an aging franchise? Drop Johnson on it. The best thing by far in Fast Five. Dwayne Johnson hulks through the movie, leaving testosterone trails in his wake. The film itself was not, by any normal criteria, a great film, but it was a bit lengthy. The action scenes, in particular the final car chase, made the film the most entertaining in the series, nonetheless. The film was, there are kind of simplistic characters and dialogue here and there, but the film's slick. It doesn't take itself too seriously of a movie, so you shouldn't really be looking on that side. So there. The current lack of 1980s styles of brawny leading men and the manly men typical of the 1950s and 1960s, we kind of lack that now, and their pairing is a welcome injection of tough guy vigor. A 6th Century could be something worth watching after watching this movie, but I don't know. The action scenes are spectacular. Director Lynn did great. His direction and the sharp editing never confuse or lose momentum. The dialogue, it's subpar Ocean's 11 style banter. Walker and Diesel are serviceable, but Johnson was great. He's a hip comic, and he's bringing a hip comic knowingness to his role. His enjoyment is infectious and keeps the movie speeding along. The return of Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson are great. It injects the film with much needed laughs. Johnson fit into the established cast with ease. The film itself was no mold breaker, but 2.5 out of 4 stars on the Rolling Stones. The transformation of the series into a heist film, it works, man. Damn it, man. It really does. The scenes between Johnson and Diesel. Fast Five will push all your action buttons and some you haven't thought of. these were the best moments, when Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson were on the same scene. The humor was awesome. The pacing is kind of strange, switching between exposition and comedy scenes and sudden action. It is kind of weird. Everything kind of happens out of nowhere. I don't really know if I liked that much about the film. Let's see. The sheer audacity of Fast Five is kind of breathtaking in a metal-twisting, death-defying, mission implausible B-movie on steroids kind of way. It's the best of the series, I think, no doubt. The final chase scene of Fast Five contained allusions to Bad Boys 2, the 2003 movie. The scene seems inspired in part by a similar spectacular scene in that movie. It was nearly out of Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 2. Yeah, some people had bad things to say, but I don't really feel the need. I mean, it's treatment of female characters, I guess. Some cameos strikingly in buttock form, others actually have first names. Johnson's role as DSS agent Luke Hobbs, who provides a more credible anti-antagonist to our anti-heroes than the straight-up villains can manage. He does. It's very interesting how his role in the movie. It derided the lack of realism as removing any sense of threat to the antagonist, but these films may be robustly anti-intellectual and deplorably commercialized, but they're the envy of the rest of the world. I love the action, the star. It's clear the budget wasn't used on acting lessons for the cast. Wow, that's crazy. The Fast and the Furious movies haven't exactly gotten better as they are going along, but the director, Justin Lin, taking his third turn behind the franchise's wheel, is at least a competent hack. That's what people are saying. Justin Lin is emerging as a first-rate director in the second-rate genre. Justin Lin, who misdirected the last two sequels, finds his pace this time staging dynamite action. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the movie. We gotta get going. We gotta talk about The Walking Dead. I'm actually going to bring that up on my phone right now so we can get ready for the video. I can kind of get ready for school. Dead season 6, episode 10. Pretty good film. I'm not a huge fan of the Fast and Furious. They do it for money. They just throw a bunch of action sequences together and then make a film and call it a day. It's just kind of like what's the point? This movie's okay. I really like I mean, this is when they first introduced The Rock, and they did it very successfully, but man, this was it was okay. It was definitely the best Fast and Furious movie I've seen, but I don't feel like watching